Hiog thuk ss quite hun loig gi nausen sot. Veloi na sen bazoa sbmymy. 2 million years ago, on the vast East African savannas, a forgotten branch of humanity fought to endure. Lines carve golden waves across the plains as silent footprints human and predator crisscross the dust. A small band of Homo Rudolfensis, broad-faced and determined, moves cautiously, their stone tools clutched tight. They spot a lion-left carcass, a rare chance in a world of fierce competition with Homo habilis and shifting climates. Hunger trembles through a hand reaching toward fresh blood, unaware this moment reflects the struggle that would one day decide their fate and their disappearance. The chance for survival vanishes as a group of Homo habilis approaches smaller, quicker, armed with sharper, old-down tools. For Rudolfensis, this is the rivalry that has shaped their world. Two species competing for the same meat, the same land, the same fragile foothold in a climate growing more unpredictable each generation. Their eyes lock across the open ground, a silent negotiation of fear and hunger. A warning roar breaks the stillness as a Rudolfensis raises his spear, but desperation overwhelms caution. The two groups collide in a storm of stone and bone, each blow echoing the harsh arithmetic of evolution. A Rudolfensis falls, blood darkening the sand, his vision fading upward into blinding sky. When the dust settles, only the circling vultures speak. As evening descends, the survivors hide within the brush, breath trembling, their once confident faces lit by the flicker of fire. These early humans were intelligent, adaptable but not always enough to match faster toolmakers or the unforgiving pulses of East African climate. Dawn rises over distant Lake Turkana, its shifting shoreline, reminder that even landscapes evolve. The world that shaped Homo Rudolfensis was once rich and generous. At the water's edge, herds gather to drink from lakes that stretch toward the horizon, reminders of an East Africa that has not yet begun its long drift toward drought. Here, Rudolfensis forages for roots and fruits, using a broad diet to survive shifting seasons. Their hands wield simple stone tools, cracking bones for marrow, the precious calories that fueled early human evolution. A mother teaches her child where to dig, how to listen for hidden food beneath the soul, knowledge passed not through language, but through patient imitation. Across the lake, Homo habilis appears again, a constant presence in this tightening landscape. Two species sharing space, resources, and an uncertain future. As night falls, Rudolfensis gathers around a small fire, the glow revealing the beginnings of social bonds that one day would define us. A pair of eyes looks up at the stars, sensing patterns long before astronomy had a name. With morning light, they set traps for small prey, climb trees for fruit, and communicate in short, urgent calls, instinctive, yet purposeful. Then, a thundering vibration, a vast herd of elephants crosses the plain, reminding them how tiny their place truly is in this ancient, changing world. A distant tremor rolls across the horizon as a wall of dust begins to rise, swallowing the light. What feels like a passing storm is, in truth, the growing pulse of a climate in upheaval, one of many shifts that will reshape the fate of early humans. As the winds howl, Lake Turkana begins its slow retreat, the shoreline collapsing inward. In a sweeping time lapse, water that once sustained entire communities pulls back into a shrinking basin, leaving behind only cracked mud and the memory of abundance. To Rudolfensis move carefully across the fractured ground, tools slung over shoulders, their steps heavy with hunger. A dried fish carcass crumbles at the touch of the sun, another reminder that ecosystems, once rich with resources, are now failing. At the fading edge of the lake, they encounter Paranthropus, shorter, powerfully built, specialized for chewing tough vegetation. Two branches of humanity stare across the silence, neither hostile nor aligned, simply incompatible survivors forced to share a vanishing world. As the groups part ways, a Rudolfensis hand lifts a handful of dust. It slips through their fingers like time itself, a quiet marker of what is being lost, and so the migration begins. A long line of travelers moves toward distant grasslands, dwarfed by the vast, broken earth beneath them. When night falls, they stop and look back toward the lake of final, lingering farewell to the homeland that can no longer sustain them. The sun rises over a silent plain as the remaining Rudolfensis wander in search of food, their movement slow. A child stumbles and collapses into the dust. Her mother lifts her gently, the gesture echoing a universal truth. Even on the edge of extinction, care endures. Ahead, the swollen carcass of an animal lies rotting, surrounded by flies, a stark reminder that drought spares nothing. In contrast, not far away, another human lineage ships stone with precision. Homo habilis, smaller yet more adaptable, works quickly to butcher meat. Their flexible diet and clever tool use paint a portrait of survival that Rudolfensis can no longer match. A split-screen world unfolds, one lineage rising through adaptability, the other fading as the environment turns hostile. Then the skies erupt, wind tears through the trees, thunder crashes, and the land trembles as if nature itself is sweeping the slate clean. The Rudolfensis huddle inside a shallow cave, fire flickering across frightened faces. By dawn, loss becomes undeniable. Several members lie still on the cold ground. The survivors step back into the storm, tossing the half-buried bones of ancient elephants, relics of a world collapsing around them. From afar, a thriving habilis band hunts with confidence. The oldest Rudolfensis watches, offers a weary smile, and falls to his knees. As the wind swells, their silhouettes dissolve into the drifting sand, the final traces of a branch of humanity now carried away by time. Across the silent plains, time becomes the final sculptor. For thousands of years, wind sweeps over the empty landscape, erasing every footprint, every memory of a species that once fought to survive. Slowly, as the dunes shift, fragments of a forgotten past emerge, bleached bone, a weathered skull of Homo Rudolfensis, revealed grain by grain. A modern hand lifts the fragile piece of history. The world shifts to the present, into the bright lights of a laboratory where scans hunt and 3D models rise from data. Scientists reconstruct a face last seen nearly 2 million years ago, piecing together clues of a lineage that walked upright, crafted simple tools, yet vanished long before our own story began. The human family tree branches outward, revealing no trace of them within Homo sapiens. Their legacy lives not in our DNA, but in the questions they leave behind. The reconstructed face dissolves softly into desert wine, a symbolic return to the silence that claimed them. And as the sun sets over modern Lake Turkana, the world stands still, honoring a branch of humanity long lost, yet never entirely forgotten. We stand on the horizons of Africa, carrying the legacy of those who endured, while others faded. Every species thinks it will last forever. Until it doesn't, as the silhouette of Homo Rudolfensis dissolves into the burning sky. Remember their story, then help keep ours alive. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to continue the journey.